Just a minute. How did they get this? 1 plus root 51 minus. Okay. No, the second value is cos and first is sine. First should be sine. I'm not quite sure. There's no, certainly the values are flawed.
Sorry, sir?
I mean, the answer is flawed. No, this cannot be the answer. Under root of 8 plus 2 root 15.
Like, sir, I tried many times, but I'm not getting the answer at all.
No, this is not the answer. Correct answer. 8 plus 2 root 15. See, this cannot happen, bache, because the value is greater than 1. How can cos is greater? How can cos or sine is greater than 1? It's not possible. Root over 8 plus 2 root 15 is not the answer. No, cannot be the answer. I'm very sure about this.
Okay, sir.
Either this must be there. 1 by 4.
Okay, sir.
This is the correct answer. Yes. So what you can do is just multiply upper and niche by 2. Numerator and denominator by 2. So if you multiply denominator by 2, it will become 16, right?
Yeah.
16 will come out as 1 by 4.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so multiply numerator and denominator by 2, so it will become 16, which will come out as 1 by 4, and 2 gets multiplied in denominator. So this will become like this. Cos x by 2 is 1 by 4 into root over 8 minus 2 root 15. And similarly, did you understand this? What have I done?
Yes, sir, I understood this.
Yeah. So 1 minus 2 sine square x by 2 is equals to also minus root 15 by 4. या तो हम इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं या फिर हम इसको ऐसे भी लिख सकते थे. तो यहां से 2 sin square x by 2 is what? This is 1 plus root 15 by 4. तो ये क्या बनेगा? इसको भी अगर हम सॉल्व करें. Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
1 minute, sir. I think I have audio issues. Your voice is very low for me. Can I just leave the meeting and come?
Yeah, please come again.
Sir?
Yes, please come again, Safa.
1 minute. Sir, like I just checked the answers being done in the notebook which I did. I got this value, the answer you wrote, it's in the textbook, and previously the one I told you. So I think you're correct, sir.
Yes, this should be 1 by 4 into this.
Sir, I also want to say one more thing. I don't know why, but in your screen, I can see some part of the screen is like blocked.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know this is happening with someone else too in 12th class. I don't know why it is happening. Is it happening with everyone? Can everyone see my screen?
Some part of your screen is not visible. Like this is the first time that has happened to me.
Is it now?
Yeah, sir, it's still there for me. Like now it's in the now it's in the bottom, but previously it was like a square in the middle.
Okay. Now it will not happen. I got it.
Sir, I have one more doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, now in example 29, one part of solving the problem, it says that cos 2 pi by 3, they wrote it as cos pi minus pi by 3. And then they wrote the value of it as cos pi by 3. I didn't understand how is that possible.
It should be minus cos pi by 3, not cos pi by 3. No?
Minus pi by 3?
Yeah. No?
Example 29, sir.
I don't know the example, but what you are saying, I got you. Cos 2
Like,
pi by 3 is cos pi minus pi by 3. Am I correct?
yeah. Yes, sir.
So cos pi minus theta, the formula for cos pi minus theta was minus cos theta. How would you identify what's the formula? I have solved these questions. So first you will have to identify whether it's an even multiple or odd multiple of 90. This is an even multiple of 90. So the answer would be cos theta.
Yeah.
The function will remain same. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And the angle given is in second quadrant. In second quadrant, cos is negative, so this should be minus cos theta. So cos pi minus pi by 3 should be minus cos pi by 3.
Minus cos pi by 3. Okay, sir. But in the book over here, it's mentioned positive cos pi by 3.
But it must be wrong. Sin 2 pi by 3 will be positive sin pi by 3. But cos 2 pi by 3 will to always be negative. You can see that cos, it's written cos 120 degree. 120 degrees in second quadrant, so it has to be negative. Cos 120 degree has to be negative because cos is negative in second quadrant.
Okay, sir. I'll just ask my teacher about this as well once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, that's it. I don't have any other doubts.
Okay. चलिए फिर let's start with the PNC. यार लास्ट क्लास में कुछ लोग नहीं थे PNC में, ऐसा मत करो because it is not beneficial for you guys. अच्छा चैप्टर है PNC, तो try not to leave these questions. लास्ट क्लास में हम PNC पढ़ रहे थे. PNC में हमने सीखा कि how to apply multiplication rule, right? The fundamental principles of counting. There were two fundamental principles. First was fundamental principles of addition and fundamental principle of multiplication, right? Now fundamental principle of addition and multiplication works. आपको counting के लिए दोनों use होंगे. They'll both be used for counting. And कब use होंगे? We have already seen that when can we use them. Now let me make that more clear. Let me solve some questions. Let me give you some questions. जहाँ पे हम we will use fundamental principle of counting. So come to exercise 7.1, page number 138. We have to solve question number 1. How many 3-digit numbers can be formed from the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? So we have 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have these 5 digits. We have to make 3-digit numbers out of them. And it is also given then repetition. First case is repetition of digits is allowed. Repetition is allowed. Let's first solve the first case. Repetition is allowed. When the repetition is allowed, we have 5 digits. We have to make 3-digit numbers. So basically, we have to fill these 3 places using 5 digits. We have 5 options. Either we can use 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We have to make 3-digit numbers out of these 5 digits. So we have to fill 3 places with 5 objects. Now let's understand the choices we have. At first place, we have 5 choices. Because you can use any of the digit out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the first place. Now, what does repetition is allowed? What does repetition mean? Is that you can use the same digit which you have used at the first place at second place as well. So if you have used 1 in the first place, you can use 1 as many times as you want. You can also make a number 111. So 111 is a number, 3-digit number made by using 1, which is a number, which is a given number, right? So when repetition is allowed, the choices won't reduce. At first place, you have 5 choices. Second place also, you got 5 choices. And third place also, you got 5 choices. Fundamental principle of multiplication will work here because all the choices are interdependent. Hence, the total 3-digit numbers that can be formed using these 5 digits are 5 cube 125 numbers. In the second case, repetition is not allowed. Yani ke you will again have 3 places to fill using these 5 choices. Now at the first place, you have 5 choices. At the second place, how many choices do we have if repetition is not allowed?
Two choices, yes.
How many, Safa?
Four, sir.
4 choices, right? Because we cannot use the number which we have used at first place. So 111 is not a number in this given case because you cannot repeat your digit. 123 is a possible number, but 111 is not. So whatever you have used, whatever choice out of these 5 digits you have used at first place, you can't use that again. Hence, if we have 5 choices for first place, we have 4 for second, and we have 3 choices for the third place. The total choices will be 60. So there are total 60 numbers in which the digits won't get repeat, right? And they will be used using these 5 digits. So we have 63 digit numbers which can be made using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was the first question. I want you guys to solve second one. Just try. You have 2 minutes. Just try second question. I'll make you understand first what is second question. How many 3-digit numbers? Okay, no. First solve this with me. You have to solve third question. First solve second with me. How many 3-digit even numbers? So first, carefully understand what the question is saying. What are the conditions that question is putting us? How many 3-digit even numbers? So it is already given that the number is 3-digit and the number is even as well. So how many 3-digit even numbers can be formed using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? We have 6 choices available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 choices, 6 digits, out of which we have to use 3 digits to make even numbers, 3-digit even numbers, and repetition is not allowed. Oh, no, repetition is allowed. Aisha, last class नहीं आई बच्चे. Iram and Aisha. थोड़ा देख लेना फर्स्ट क्लास का. हम ये कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी. Just check first class first after this class. So we have to form 3-digit even numbers out of these 6 digits and repetition is allowed. So basically to make a 3-digit number, we have to fill 3 places with 6 choices in which the choices can be repeated, right? Which the choices can be repeated. And also the numbers should be even. That is important condition as well. The numbers have to be even. Yes. So we have to form 3-digit even numbers out of these 6 digits in which repetition is allowed. So before, what we were doing is we were taking the choices for first place, which were 6, then second place. If repetition is allowed, then we can have 6 choices as well. If repetition is not allowed, the choices will reduce. It means Whatever you have used at first place, you can't use that at any other place. So if repetition is not allowed, then second place will have 5 choices and third will have 4 choices. If repetition is allowed, everyone will have 6 choices, right? Just 1 minute, Tarif. Yes, correct, Tarif. Good one. But because the numbers are even, and how the numbers are even, I mean, what's the condition that numbers are even? The condition is the last digit, units place digit, should be even. Hence, we have to first fill that place which makes the number even. Because we have a condition applied here. So we will start with the condition. This is a rule. Whenever you are given a question and some condition is applying, so you have to first fill that place on which the condition is working. Here, we have to make even numbers. We have to find even numbers. So first we have to fill this place now, because this is important. This place is responsible for the number, whether the number is even or odd. So we have to first fill this place. Now, if the number is even, this place should be even. Out of these 6 digits, these are even digits, 2, 4, and 6. So this last place only has 3 choices. Either it can be 2, either we can put 2, either we can put 4, or put 6 at this place. So we have 3 choices for this place. Now you can fill any of the 2 places. I mean, you can start filling them randomly, however you want. That is not the, but the first place to be filled should be the place at which the condition is working. Condition was we have to make even numbers. So at third place, we first filled our choices. We have 3 choices for third place. Second place के लिए हमारे पास कितना choices होगा? Total 6 numbers है. 6 में से एक आपने यहाँ पे use कर लिया, but repetition allowed है. यानी कि this place also has 6 choices. This place also has 6 choices. Total numbers will be 6 into 6 into 3, which is 108 is the required numbers. Yeah, this is the answer. So understand the question. Try to find out the choices for each place separately, individually, and then solve using the conditions. First, try to fill in with the condition, then try to fill all the places, left out places. Now you have to solve third question. Just try it. You have to form 4-letter code using the first 10 letters of the English alphabet if no letter can be repeated. So the question is, first 10 letters of alphabets up to English alphabet given है. First 10 letters are given. इससे आपको 4-letter code बनाना है. You have to make a code which contain 4 letters, and letters cannot be repeated. Repetition is not allowed. You can only use a letter once. Try to do this with number of choices and send me the answer in chat. Very good, Safa. Correct. Iram correct है. Good. Very good. Harif correct. Very good. If you have solved third, please start solving question number fourth. If everyone has solved third, please start solving fourth, fifth, and sixth. Whenever you tell me the answer, just write which question number you are answering for. Just write 4, 5, 5. And Tharif, just write the direct answer. Iram, just write the direct answer. Whatever your answer is, just write it with the question number. So fourth,
Okay, sir.
like you could have written third 5040. Third 5040. Just write the answers and question number.
So do we solve the fifth and sixth question as well? So,
But if you're correct, fourth question's answer is correct. And Safa, you haven't yet answered question number 4, but I'll check. I'm checking fifth and sixth.
so I did.
Yeah, fifth.
1 minute, sir. I'll resend the answer.
Yeah, no worries. Fifth is correct, by the way. Sixth is also correct. Good. Yes, Tarif, correct. Fahad, भाई solve हो रहा है question के नहीं? Iram, Fahad, Abdullah. Yeah, correct. Iram. Fourth is correct. Good, good one. तो थर्ड में तो बहुत ही सिंपल है, 4 लेटर कोड है, कोई कंडीशन नहीं है, रिपीटिशन इज नॉट अलाउड. तो फर्स्ट प्लेस के लिए 10, फिर 9, फिर 8, फिर 7. सॉल्व करेंगे, आंसर आ जाएगा 5040. Yes, Tarif, correct. Very good. Iram, very good. Good, 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 good. If you are facing any doubt, any problem, please feel free to ask. Okay. I don't want the answers. I want you to understand the concepts. Okay. Because we'll also provide you assignments over this. And then if you're not good with the reasoning part, the logic part, you won't be able to solve the assignment. Okay. So feel free to share your problem. Feel free to share your doubts. And I'll try to answer them in the best capacity. And if we discuss fourth, तो फोर्थ में हमें क्या दिया गया है 0 से 9 तक डिजिट्स दी गई हैं 10 digits in total. We have to make telephone numbers. Let's first understand that a telephone number can also start with 0. Your normal number do not start with 0. I mean, if you have written this 09, this is just one digit, right? This is just 9. If you talk about numbers, but if you talk about telephone numbers, this is a 2-digit telephone number which can start with 0. Okay, so just remember this, that telephone number can also start with 0. But now let's understand what the question is saying. So we have to make 5-digit telephone number. Five-digit telephone number, which is starting with 67. Okay, so we are given that your 5-digit telephone number is starting with 67 and repetition is not allowed. So you had to fill 5 places, but 2 have already been filled. You're already provided with 67. You just have to fill these 3 places. You had 10 digits. 2 you have already used. 6 and 7 you have already used. So you are left with 8 digits. You have 8 choices for this place, 7 choices for this place, 6 for this. So 8 into 7 into 6 is 336 place.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah, please.
Sir, for that fourth question, we can directly also write as since the 16, 7 is already repeated, we can also directly write as 1 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 8 into 7 into 6. We can also write like that, sir.
Yeah, yes. These, because these have already been fixed.
Yes,
So
sir.
you don't have choices for them. You just have one choice for first place and one choice for second place.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
Then for fifth question, you have been given that a coin is tossed 3 times and the outcomes are recorded. How many possible outcomes are there? So if a coin is tossed 3 times, there are 3 outcomes. First outcome can have 2 choice, either head or tail. Second can also be either head and tail. Third can also be either head and tail. FPM will apply, yani the fundamental principle of multiplication will apply. And there are total 8 possible outcomes. This will be used widely in probability. So I already told you this, that you will be using the chapter in probability a lot. Okay. Now the last question is given 5 flags of different colors. How many different signals can be generated if each signal requires the use of 2 flags, one below the other? So you are given with 5 flags. Okay. There are 5 flags. You have to make a signal which use 2 flags, one below the other. So this is one flag, first flag, this is second flag. You can take 5, you have 5 choices for the first flag, and then you have 4 choices for the second flag. So there are total 20 choices in which you can form the signal. Obviously, you are not given that whether repetition is allowed or not, but this is a common sense question that repetition cannot be allowed because you only have 5 flags. So each color has only one flag, which can be used only once. So there are 20 signals, 20 different signals that you can make using this tool, using these 5 flags. If a signal is formed using 2 flags. Also, example 4 is a very nice example based on this flag based question only. Example 4 uses fundamental principle of addition as well as fundamental principle of multiplication. Fundamental principle of addition and fundamental principle of multiplication. To solve example 4 as well, not right now, but you have to solve this after the class. Okay, so this was basically fundamental principle of counting, like how can you count easily and how can you count fast using these 2 fundamental principles, FPM, that is fundamental principle of multiplication, FPA, fundamental principle of addition. When to use addition and when to use multiplication, for that you can watch my previous class if you are not clear with that, because we have already discussed it. Now let's understand the next things. So before heading towards any technical thing, let me make you understand this new term, factorial. What is factorial? So factorial is only defined for positive integers. And sorry, I should write only defined for non-negative integers. Non-negative integers. How do you define factorial? You can use n factorial like this. So this is a symbol. This exclamation mark is the symbol for factorial. Or this step, this L can also be used as factorial. And what does this mean? N factorial is equals to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into up to 1. So this is basically continued product of n natural numbers. Now understand what factorial is. For example, I want to calculate 3 factorial. So 3 factorial means the product of all the natural numbers from 3 to 1. The answer is 6. No, let's start with 1 factorial only. So 1 factorial is nothing but only 1. 2 factorial is 2 into 1. 3 factorial is 3 into 2 into 1. So whatever factorial you are calculating, you have to start multiplying all the natural numbers from 1 to that number. So if you are calculating 3 factorial, you have to multiply all the natural numbers starting from 1 to 3. If you are calculating 4 factorial, you have to multiply all the natural numbers starting from 1 to 4. So start with 4, come up to 1. Write all the product of natural numbers. So 1 factorial is 1, 2 factorial is 2, 3 factorial is 6, 4 factorial is 24, 5 factorial is what? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So can I write 5 factorial as 5 into 4 factorial? Is it correct? Can I write 5 factorial as 5 into 4 factorial?
Yes, sir.
Right? Because see, 5 factorial is nothing but all the product of all the natural numbers up to 5, right? So if I write 4 factorial, which is product of first 4 natural numbers, if I multiply 4 factorial with 5, it will become 5 factorial. If I multiply 6 and 5 factorial, it will become 6 factorial, right? So 5 factorial will be 24, which is the value of 4 factorial, into 5, which is 120. Then 6 factorial is nothing but 6 into 5 factorial, which is 720, and so on. Should know the value of 6 factorial. So factorial, you can calculate factorial like this. Now I'm telling you the answer for 0 factorial. Why this 0 factorial is 1, we will discuss this later on. But 0 factorial is 1. For now, 0 factorial is also defined, which is 1. You cannot find the factorial for any negative integer or any rational number, like 4 upon 5 factorial does not exist. 4 factorial upon 5 factorial can exist, I mean, will exist, but 4 upon 5 factorial, no. I mean, you cannot find out 4 upon 5 ka factorial. Do not understand it like this, okay? No, this is not equal to this. No. किसी भी रैशनल नंबर का फैक्टोरियल एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा, नेगेटिव इंटीजर का फैक्टोरियल एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा. Factorial will only exist for positive integers and 0. So can you solve some questions on factorial? Chalo, let's try. Let's understand some basic operations on factorials. And can I remove this? If anyone hasn't written, please raise your hand. Cool. So start solving exercise 7.2. Okay. Solve first question first. Please tell the answer starting from first question.
So,
Yes.
sir, I was actually having issues, so I joined once again. Were you saying something important?
No. I have given you exercise 7.2 question number 1 to solve.
Okay, sir.
First part is correct. So in first part, we have to solve 8 factorial. 8 factorial can be written as this. 6 factorial you have just calculated. After calculating, this will become this.
So it is
Sorry,
503 or 4?
It is 40320. And in second question, this is given. First, understand this is not equal to this, bache. No, these are not equal things. Yes, Tarif, correct. ना ही तो ये इक्वल है और अगर आप प्लस भी लगाते हैं तो ना ही ऐसे होगा. डायरेक्ट ऑपरेशन ऐसा नहीं है कि a फैक्टोरियल प्लस b फैक्टोरियल इज इक्वल टू a प्लस b फैक्टोरियल. नो. या फिर a फैक्टोरियल माइनस b फैक्टोरियल इज इक्वल टू नॉट इक्वल टू a माइनस b का फैक्टोरियल. आप डायरेक्टली ऐसे ना करें. a इंटू b का फैक्टोरियल इज इक्वल्स टू a फैक्टोरियल इंटू b फैक्टोरियल. नो, दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट इक्वल. And a factorial upon b factorial is not equal to a upon b ka factorial. Just write these 4 things. So if you are calculating 4 factorial minus 3 factorial, what you can do is आप इसको ऐसे जरूर लिख सकते हैं. Now take 4 factorial common. You are left with 4 minus 3. 3 factorial common. 3 factorial is 6 into 3, 18 is the answer. Yeah, the Tharif, that is the exact result which we are talking here. That we cannot use this directly. Now solve the question number 2. It has been asked that whether 3 factorial plus 4 factorial is equals to 7 factorial. No. Why? Calculate LHS and RHS both. LHS is 6 plus 24. That is 30. And RHS is 7 factorial, which you have already calculated. It was 5040. Right? So just solve both parts and tell them these are not equal because left hand side is 30 while the right hand side is 5040. Yes, correct, Tarif. Now third part, you have to calculate 8 factorial divided by 6 factorial into 2 factorial. So see, I'm again writing this 8 factorial as 8 into 7 into 6 factorial. I can write 8 factorial as 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. But instead of writing it full, instead of writing down all the 8 multiplications, I can just easily write this as 8 into 7 into 6 factorial because 6 factorial is already given in the denominator. So it will directly cancel out. And the answer would be 2 factorial is 2. 2 will cancel out this 8 as 4. Answer is 28. So just use this property. These are some properties which I will write. Yeah, correct. Hiram. Third is correct for all of you. Safa is also correct. And then fourth is yeah, fourth is also correct. Safa and Tharif. And can I remove this? Okay. Fourth is this 1 upon 6 factorial plus 1 upon 7 factorial is equals to x upon 8 factorial. Either we can take the LCM, right? Either we can take the LCM. Yeah, I'm correct. Or we can multiply this 8 factorial. We can take this 8 factorial and cross multiply into the left hand side. In which case, this expression becomes something like this. If you take 8 factorial, so 8 factorial will come in both the denominators, both the numerators. So this will become 8 factorial upon 6 factorial, and this will become 8 factorial upon 7 factorial is equals to x. Now 8 factorial upon 6 factorial can be easily solved as 8 into 7 into 6 factorial divided by 6 factorial plus 8 into 7 factorial upon 7 factorial. See how conveniently we can break factorials with whatever, I mean, in the sync with whatever we are given. So this will become 56 only.
So is
8.
it necessary to do this way, or like we can do it LCM? Like
We
7
can take the
factorial
LCM
plus.
as well, but it will, I mean, it is advisable, Safa, that you do this in this way.
Like
You can
this?
always take the LCM, also correct. But this is much simpler than taking LCM.
I don't know, sir.
So having said that, you should know how to take LCM.
Okay.
You should know to take LCM. Yes, Tharif and Safa, I think you both are correct for fifth part. You can easily solve fifth part as well. Okay. I'm not interested in solving these parts. I was interested in you guys to understand factorial first. Now I'll write some of the properties of factorial. I mean, there are not much properties, so you don't need to write like properties of factorial. Just understand this thing, that n factorial can be written as n into n minus 1 factorial, which can further be written as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 factorial, which we have done right here. See this. This is something like this form, and this is something like this form. Just note this property that any factorial can be written, can be broken like this, according to our need. Okay. Now let's understand more about it. Why did we define factorial? Why did we even talk about factorial? So there are two things, permutation and combination, right? Now, what does this mean? Permutation and combination. First, let me simplify the chapter for you. What does permutation and what does combination mean? So let's understand the situation. Okay, I'll tell you this situation. So there are 5 students in the class right now. Iram, Fahad, Tharif, Abdullah, and Safa. There are 5 students, 5 of you in the class. And let's say I have to make a committee of 2 students. I am forming a group or committee of 2 students. Right. Now, in how many ways can I choose these 2 students? like how many different groups are there. First, go with me. So okay, I am writing your name as E for Iram, Fahad, MT for Muhammad Tharif, MA for Muhammad Abdullah, and Safa, S for Safa, right? So how many different combinations do I have of two students will be the number of different committees which I can make. So E and F, E and MT, E and MA. So let's group Iram with everyone else, E and S. So there are four groups which E can make, Iram can make, right? Now Fahad has already been with the group with Iram. Now FMT, FMA, and FS. Again MTMA, MTS, then MAS. You can easily check out that these are all the possible combinations which I have written. There will be no different combination than this. So there are total 10 combinations. So what I mean to say is you can make 10 different committees and every committee will consist two different people, right? Every combination is different. So there are total 10 committees which we can make. There will be one committee which will be forming, but there are 10 ways to do that. So this is what is this? This is basically we are selecting two people. We are selecting two students out of the given 5 students. So basically we are making combinations of two students. This is combination. Every single this notation represents a combination. There are total 10 different combinations. So this is combination, right? Now let me make you understand permutation. तो combination simple है, selection. Combination माने तो selection. Now let's understand permutation. Permutation का word का मतलब है arrangement. Now what does we mean by arrangement? So let's say there are two seats and there are two persons A and B. I have to make them sit on these two chairs. I want to know in how many ways they can sit. So either A and B, A at the first seat and B at the second seat, or B and A, B at the first seat and A on the second seat. See, there were only one combination A and B. There were two people, there were two seats, and two people have to sit on two seats. So combination was one only, A and B, but A and B can be arranged in two ways at two places. Either A can sit at first and B can at second, or B can sit at first place and A can sit at second place. So this is the differentiation between permutation and combination, basically arrangement and selection. Selection is a different combination. Combination is a different selection. You can use either term. And permutation means different arrangements, different types of arrangements. You can just remember one thing. In combination, order does not matter. Order does not matter. While in permutation, order is the main thing. Order matters. Which is first, which is second, it matters. Order matters. चलिए अभी कुछ क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं परम्यूटेशन एंड कॉम्बिनेशन के. और कुछ बेसिक फॉर्मूले लिखते हैं। पहले आप यहाँ तक कंप्लीट कर लीजिए। इज एवरीबॉडी डन? अगर किसी का नहीं हुआ है तो प्लीज रेज योर हैंड इफ यू हैवंट रिटन। I'll wait. And if everybody is done, then you don't need to do anything. Okay, I'm assuming everybody has written. Okay, so combination. How does combination work? NCR. This is combination of R people out of N. Either understand this mathematical statement as combination of R persons out of N persons, or selection of R persons out of N persons. NCR को हम open कैसे करते हैं? What's the formula for NCR? N factorial divided by R factorial into N minus R factorial. So for example, 5C2. सबसे पहले तो 5C2 का मतलब क्या है? We are selecting two objects, or I should say distinct objects. Distinct माने different. Persons are always different. That is why I use persons. So selecting two distinct yet different objects out of 5. 5C2 means that. अभी जो आपने क्वेश्चन किया था उसमें there were 5 students, 5 of you, and I have to make committee of 2. So I can solve that using 5C2. 5C2 means I am selecting 2 students out of the given 5 students. Now, what's the value of 5C2? 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 5 minus 2, that is 3 factorial. Now 5 factorial can be written as 5 into 4 into 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 3 factorial. This gets cancelled out. Answer is 10. देखो 10 ही combination बन रहे थे ना last question, इसलिए 10 combinations थे, because 5C2 will give you the value 10. यानी कि if you make combination of 2 persons out of 5 persons, there will be 10 combinations which we have solved, which we have counted one by one in the previous example. So that is how we solve C, that is combination, and NCR represents selection of R persons out of N persons. So can you select 10 students out of 5 students? Is 5C10 possible? It means that you have 5 students and you have to select 10 students out of 5 students. Is that practically possible?
No.
No. Yeah. See, first of all, that is not practically possible that you can select 10 persons out of 5 persons, but also mathematically, you will get this wrong. So if you solve this mathematically, what you will get is 5 factorial divided by 10 factorial into 5 minus 10, that is minus 5 factorial. But you cannot calculate negative factorial for negative integers. So this is not possible. Hence, there are some conditions here. N comma R should belong to whole number. N or R both should be whole numbers only, and R is less than equal to N. I mean, you can select less persons out of more persons, not more persons out of less persons. This is not possible. This is what combination looks like. there is a shortcut also for solving combination. एक तरीका तो ये है ही that you can use formula for solving this, but one other method is just expand this number the times the number given in the denominator. I mean, what I'm saying is if you have to calculate 5c2, then expand 5 factorial just 2 times, which is 5 into 4, just 2 times divided by 2 factorial, niche wala factorial, which would be 10. Let me make this more clear. Can I remove all of this? If somebody hasn't written, please raise your hand. Okay, so this is a shortcut. Let's say I want to calculate 10c3. So how can I calculate 10c3 easily or in a faster ways? Just expand 10 3 times, 10 factorial 3 times. 10 into 9 into 8 divided by 3 factorial. This should be the answer for 10c3. So let's say you have to calculate 12c4. 12c4 will be 12 into 11 into 10 into 9. Just expand 12 4 times divided by niche wala factorial 4 factorial. Whatever is the answer. This should be 120. This should be 495. Okay, calculate fast. 13c2. What's the answer for 13c2? Use shortcut method and tell me the answer. Just tell me the answer. Do not write it on chat. Yeah, Safa, please.
Sir, for the shortcut method, we are just multiplying 3 factorial, then we add multiplying both, then we are dividing, right?
Yes. Don't write it on chat. Yeah, Iram correct is 78. Yes, Safa correct 78. So we just have to expand 13 2 times, which is 13 into 12 divided by 2 factorial, 678. Now, how do we use permutation? This is NPR. So what does NPR means? Arranging R persons at n places. Arranging R persons at n places. Now, how do we calculate NPR? NPR is just simply n factorial divided by n minus R factorial. So if you multiply and divide it by R factorial, then n factorial upon n minus R factorial into R factorial is nothing but NCR into R factorial. So NPR is NCR into R factorial. Right. For example, if you want to calculate 10p3, इसका मतलब है you are arranging 3 persons at 10 places. There are 10 places, you can use any 3 of them and you are arranging 3 persons on them. So 10 factorial is 10 factorial divided by 7 factorial. 10 factorial को 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 factorial लिखा जा सकता है, तो आंसर would be 720. Sorry, here. This is arranging n persons at r places. Just a minute. Arrangement of n persons taken r at a time. So 10p3 means arrangement of 10 persons taken 3 at a time. Yeah, I mean, we are arranging 10 persons on 3 positions. This is arrangement of n persons at r places. You can also understand like this: arrangement of n persons at r places, not r persons at n places. So that is how you can solve permutation and combination. We have to solve some questions on it. Let's understand some points first. Hanji, can I remove this? Okay.
Sir,
Let's
I have a
understand some.
doubt.
Yeah, please.
So that 10p3, when we are dividing it, we are doing it as 10 factorial by 7 factorial. How the answer is 720, sir? Like, are we multiplying it? Are we multiplying 10 by 7 times?
No. Can I write 10 factorial 3 as like this?
Sir. Okay, sir.
10 into 9 into 8 into 7 factorial divided by 7 factorial.
Yes, sir.
And
we
this
are
9
using the
and
normal method for arrangement. Yes, sir.
oh, so there's no shortcut method for this.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Or you can, yeah, there is a shortcut. Actually, there is a shortcut. So if you want to solve 10p3, just expand 10 3 times. That's the answer.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
But this will not work in such cases. See, 10p7. I mean, this will work, but this is a, I mean, this will be a larger number if you solve this. This is 10 into 9 into 8 into 7. You have to expand 10 7 times. Something like that. Yeah, did you get it?
Yes, sir, I got it, sir. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, so if you are calculating NPR, just expand n factorial r times. And if you are solving NCR, these are the shortcuts. Expand n factorial r times divided by r factorial. Okay, so NC0 and NCN both are 1. Solve this, you can easily get this. NC0 will be n factorial divided by 0 factorial, n minus 0, which is n factorial. This is nothing but 1. NCN is same. N factorial divided by n factorial into 0 factorial. And the second property is NCR is equals to NCN minus R. Now, understand this using example. If 10C3 is written, so 10C3 can also be written as 10C7, 10C 10 minus 3. Which is 7. So understand using expanding. So 10C3 is 10 factorial divided by 3 factorial into 7 factorial. Now what is 10c7? 10 factorial divided by 7 factorial into 3 factorial. So we're just changing these two places with each other. So NCR can be written as NCN minus R. This is a very important property. Guys, remember this. This is an important property which we will be using a lot. Now the third property is NCR plus NCR minus 1 is equals to N plus 1 CR. Understand? So let's say 8C3 plus, you want to add 8C3 plus 8C2. You can only add when upper coefficient is same and lower coefficient is consecutive. You can only add when upper coefficient is same and lower coefficient is consecutive. Now, how will you add? Add 1 in the upper coefficient and take the greater wala lower coefficient, which is 3. So the answer is 9C3. So for example, you want to add 17C10 plus 17C8. 17C10 plus 17C8. Can I add them? That is my first question. Can I add them?
Sir, can you please repeat what you said? I can't understand what you're saying.
Sure. Can you see?
No, sir. I cannot see it actually. Can you write it on the top, like beside that n factorial by 0 factorial into n factorial?
Okay. Just a minute. Oh, God. Are the controls.
Sir, I actually think my screen, there are some problems going on.
It's not
Some
the problem in your side. This is the problem from my side, I guess.
Sir,
No,
you can just say the question once again if you're having trouble. I'll listen more.
Okay, so I am asking whether I can add this or not. This is 17C10. Can I remove all of this? Have you written everything on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me. You can see now, I guess. 17C10 plus 17C8. So I'm first. My first question is: can I add them using the third property? Can I add them?
No, sir.
Because the lower coefficient is not consecutive, right?
It's not consecutive.
Yeah, so it is not directly additive right now, but it can be added. So use second property first. Using second property, can I write this as 17C7? This 17C10 will become 17C7 if I use second property. NCR is equals to NCN minus R. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Right, and now they can be added because the lower coefficient is consecutive now, and they can be added and written as 18C8. So sometimes you cannot apply the property directly, but with a combination of 2 or 3 properties, you can solve the given question.
Or how did you apply the property here? Like, I understand that the coefficients are consecutive, but it's the opposite way, right? 7 is less than 8.
First I solved 17C10. First I simplified 17C10 as 17C7. Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Using NCR equals to NCN minus R?
Yes, sir.
Yes, then the upper coefficient is same and the lower coefficient is consecutive. So
Yes,
we
sir.
will add the upper coefficient. So it will become 18. C, and we have to take the greatest wala lower coefficient,
Yeah.
which is greater.
And then the lower. Okay.
Lower
So
coefficient.
among
8.
the greater lower coefficient would be the answer.
Yeah. Lower coefficient would be taken the greatest one.
Okay, sir.
The value which is greater in the lower coefficient will be taken. They have to be consecutive, and the greater value will be written in the answer. You're gonna easily also find the proof. NCR plus NCR. Okay, you have to solve these. Okay, just try to solve them. You'll get the proof. If not, I'll tell you. Okay. But first I have to write all the properties actually, otherwise we are running out of time. So fourth is NCR divided by NCR minus 1. This can be written as N minus R minus 1 divided by R. Now let's understand the application. The application part is must. The proof part is not, you will not be asked the proofs, but for better understanding, you should know them. But it will not be asked in the exams. What matters the most is the application part. But if you are facing difficulties in understanding the proof, so you can tell me, I'll solve all the proofs for you. But this is just for the understanding part. Okay. So let's first be clear with the application part. When can we apply this formula? When the upper coefficient is same, when there are 2C in division, upper coefficient is same and the lower coefficient is consecutive. But lower coefficient is consecutive, but still the higher wala lower coefficient will be in the numerator. Okay. So how can we solve this? How can we apply the formula? Just subtract the lowest two coefficients, that is 8 minus 3 divided by 4. So if this is written 10C7 upon 10C6, we can apply the formula because upper coefficient is same and lower coefficient is consecutive, and also lower coefficient is greater in numerator. So this can be written as 10 minus 6 divided by 7. But what if the formula gets reversed, reciprocated? That is, let's solve 10C3 upon 10C4. So no changes, just the reciprocal of this as well. Manike, you have to written 4 upon 10 minus 3. This 4 will come in the denominator and 10 minus 3 will come in the numerator. Oh, sorry, denominator. So fourth is this NCR upon NCR minus 1 is equals to N minus 1 divided by R. The fifth property is NCR is equals to N by R into N minus 1 CR minus 1. For example, 8C4 is 8 upon 4 into 7C3. या फिर 8 upon 4 into 7 upon 3 divided by into 6C2. So reduce 1 from the upper coefficient as well as from the lower coefficient. 8 by 4 into 7 by 3 into 6C2. Or you can further solve that 8 by 4 into 7 by 3 into 6 by 2 into 5C1. So you can solve that one more time. 8 by 4 into 7 by 3. You don't need to solve that, in so many steps. 5 upon 1. This is 4C0. NC0 is 1. So the answer is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 divided by 4 factorial, which you will get if you apply the shortcut formula. If you apply the shortcut, you'll directly get this. So NCR can be written as N upon R into N minus 1 CR minus 1. Just take both the coefficients, upper coefficient in numerator and lower coefficient in denominator, and reduce both of them by 1. This is your fifth formula. Now the sixth one is NP0.
It was
Yeah,
O
yeah.
factorial, right?
What?
OC0.
4C0 is 1. NC0 is 1.
Okay, sir.
Similarly, NP0 is also 1. Last is NPN, which is n factorial. So just remember these formula. You will get a lot of questions in the assignment, mathematical questions on counting based problems and factorial based problems. Solve them. We'll understand the use of permutation and combination in detail in the next class. Okay. For now, just solve the assignments. Safa, have you written everything? I mean, is everything visible? Is screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then. This class is over. We will continue in the next class. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.